There's a bee in here. It's a massive bee. This is a hermetically sealed room. How can I have a massive bee? Look at the size of that. Anyway, hello everybody, Mark here from Present Day Production, and today I'm going to be going through your mastered mixes. Ooh. So thank you so much to everyone that sent in their mixes for our free mastering offer. If you're not sure what that offer is, then there's a link above the screen now, so click on that, send us your mixes, I'll master them for free. I've been generally absolutely blown away by the quality of everything that has appeared on my hard drive. It's been incredible. I'm just so amazed that there's so much talent out there, and you guys are, you know, you're all unsigned, and I've had conversations with a lot of you, have been chatting backwards and forwards, and some of your stories are amazing as well. You know, there's guys and girls that have had stuff which they finished a couple of years ago and never did anything with it, and now I've mastered it and you're thinking of releasing it. There's people that have from around the other side of the world that this is the first song, the first project they've ever finished, the first thing they've ever worked on. Just a huge wide range of stuff I've had through, and it's all been brilliant. So thank you so much to everyone who sent stuff through. If you'd like me to master your music for free, there's a song there somewhere. No, there isn't. No, don't sing. Then if you'd like me to master your music for free, then send it to me via transfer, watch the video, watch the other video, links in the description below and all that stuff, and that'll show you exactly what to do. But keep sending stuff, because I'm really enjoying this, and I'm learning a lot about what's going on all over the world with you wonderful people. So let's keep it going. I'm really enjoying it so far. So I've come into the studio. I'm in isolation. Normally it's a bustling hub of activity. There's things going on in the other rooms. There's, you know, people coming in and out all the time. There's teas and coffees being made. I've just made my own cup of tea here. I'm on my own in isolation with the Yeti, who is our guard Yeti, so beware. And so apologies if this video is awful. The technical, I mean, the content's going to be awful because I'm presenting it, but apologies if the technical aspects of this video are awful, because normally I have a thing called a James, which is great, because when James is here, he's really good with all this technical stuff and the computer stuff and everything like that. And I'm not very good because I'm old and fat and my brain doesn't work anymore. So this might even be out of focus. And if it is, I'm not doing it again because I don't care. So you shouldn't care either. So apologies for any technical discrepancies in this video. It's taken me an hour to work out, well, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get the unmastered mix to play and the mastered mix to play? But I don't want to record it through the microphone or through mics in the cameras or anything. You know, I want it to go straight into so it's taken me ages to work that out. So hopefully this will work. Let's find out. I'm waffling again. Let's get straight into it. And up first, so we've got a selection of tracks here. We've got, I think, 10. Yeah, so we've got 10 songs to go through. Today, I'm not going to play all the songs because that would be a really boring video. I'm not going to show you what I did on each track because that would be a really boring video. I'm just going to give you some little snippets of each song, explain what I did, explain if there were any issues, any problems. And what I did, and blah. So hopefully that should be not too boring. Okay, let's crack on with the first person, who is Alex Grove. So this is in alphabetical order by first name. So I've done it that way, so there's no, you know, prejudice, you know what I mean. There's none of that involved, and I haven't included not everyone who sent stuff is in this video, so apologies if you're not in this video. You might be in a future video. I've had so much stuff, it's just like, what do I do? So I've just picked kind of 10 of the not necessarily the best songs, but 10 of the best examples for me to show you in this video of what I've done and what conversations we've had and stuff like that. And there's a couple of songs from the same artist in a couple of places, Alex being one of them. So Alex Grove is a young guy who, he was in a band actually, who came and recorded with us a couple of times a few years ago. Fantastic musician, comes up with some really good ideas, and he's sent a couple of songs, the first one of which is called 21. So let's have a little listen to the original mix. So this is the mix that he sent to me. So my first thought with this was there's probably a little bit too much bass end. Alex has sent through another track as well, so the next thing I did was listen to the other track, which is this one. And same thing, bass is a little bit woolly. So what's that telling me? Well, that's telling me that it's probably been mixed in a bedroom or a less than optimum acoustic environment, probably on near field monitors that don't go down, you know, to the super lows. And it's a really common thing for guys and girls that are mixing at home. It's really common to not really be able to judge what the bass end is doing. If you're in a square room, that's the worst shaped room you can be in, because generally what happens is in the middle of the room all the bass disappears, and in the corners of the room all the bass is greatly amplified. So you've got to find the sweet spot in the room, which is normally a third of the way down. By the time you've got a desk in an average spare bedroom, particularly in the UK, and you're sitting behind it, then you're going to be pretty much halfway down the length of the room, which is the worst place to be for the bass response. So this is telling me that it's probably been mixed at home, it's probably been mixed in the squarish room, and it's probably been mixed on small near field monitors or something similar. But again, that's what mastering's for. So what Alex has done is he's done the best thing he could do, and he's done a great mix of a couple of great songs, and he's then sent them to me for mastering, and I've listened to them and gone, bass is a bit woolly. Not woolly, it's just a bit, there's too much of it. There's just a little bit too much of it. So that is what mastering is about. But that's really the only thing with these mixes that I can not criticise. Criticise is not the word. That's the only feedback I'd give you, Alex, on these mixes, is that there's a little bit too much bass end, but I can easily fix that. So when you're mixing the next lot of stuff, don't change anything, because everything else you're doing is great. And if you start pulling the bass down, then you might start hearing other things in the kind of mid and the top end, and your mids and your highs are great. So keep doing what you're doing basically, but make sure you send it to someone else who's got a full range system to master it for you. But great songs, really great songs. So this is let's just go back to the beginning, and we'll do a bit of an A and B. So obviously the mastered tracks are going to be louder, because one of the things I do is get the tracks up to a commercial level for mastering. As you can see from the screenshots, nothing slammed. I don't slam anything. We've been in the loudness wars for goodness knows how long. And a few years ago, the major streaming services like Apple and Spotify, etc., turned around and said, instead of smashing everything through the roof, so if you submit, if you upload a quiet master to our site, we'll raise it up to the loudest of the loud. They're doing it the other way around these days. The super loud stuff, they're bringing that down, and that's really good. So that means we can master music these days and still leave some headroom, which is absolutely fantastic, because you need headroom. You need a bit of dynamics in your music. You don't want everything, if you load an audio file in and it just looks like a block of ink, it's just a rectangular chunk of blur. That's all right for some genres, but generally as a rule, it just sounds awful. So these days we're allowed to leave some dynamics in, which is great. That's really good. So this is the unmastered mix, and I'll switch over to the mastered mix, hopefully, if my little setup that I've done today works. Let me skip back a bit again. So again, this is the original mix. And this is the mastered mix. Might have overdone the auto-tune there a little bit on the vocal, Alex, maybe, possibly. Can tell her what to do with her body. She's only 21, and I don't want to die young. Okay, so this is the second song that Alex sent through, and this is called Man Flu. I'm going to go back to the beginning on this one, because this is a great song. I like the little synthy intro, really nice.
Am I wasting my life trying to be alright?
So this is the unmastered mix, this is the mastered mix.
It's always out of sight.
So all I've done is I've just controlled that bass end a little bit, and I've done it with multi-band compression. I haven't done it with EQ. I've got a multi-band compressor which I've just set to do the bass end, everything from sort of 20 hertz up to about 100, 150, but it sort of tails off by the time you get to there, and it's just pulling that low end down a little bit rather than just EQing it out, because I wanted to, you know, when the bass end is quieter, it's perfect. It's just in the louder bits that it's a bit too much, so it's just pulling those peaks down, but just in the low end. And that's it. I haven't done anything else really at all other than giving it a little bit of a polish, a little bit of an EQ in just a few specific frequencies to bring some of the life out. But great production. The little bits of background vocal and the spooky stuff you've got going on there is really good. So good job, mate. You've done a really brilliant job with that. I'm really impressed. Good work. Okay, who have we got next? Next, in alphabetical order by first name. I'm going to pronounce some of your names wrong, and this is going to be one. It's Calin or Calin, Grebles or Grabler, or it's Calin. Yeah, that's who it is. Thanks for sending your track through, Calin. I apologise for, I'm so useless at names that aren't like Bob Smith or something like that. I'm hopeless, absolutely hopeless. So this is a track called Never Quit. Let's just have a little listen to this. And I like this. This is quite quirky and a little bit different. So, my phone's going off. I just turn my phone on silent, shouldn't I, when I'm doing these things? What an idiot. There we go. Okay. So this is the raw mix. This is the mastered mix.
To a challenge, trying to figure it out.
So I've applied some liberal EQ on this one just to bring some sparkle out, bring a bit of life out, bring the vocal out a little bit. And I've also applied some mid-side EQ as well, just to give it a little bit of stereo width, because it was sounding a bit constrained. So I've just subtly widened it, a little bit of EQ, little bit of compression, and then put it through the limiter to just bring the level up to a commercial level. And that's really been it. It's a great, quirky little song, brilliant stuff. Well done, and I do apologise for getting your name wrong. Just hopeless, absolutely hopeless. Oh, it is another one. Right, so this is Mark van den Broek. Now, Mark's from Belgium, I think Mark's from Belgium. So I've got no chance of pronouncing your name right, Mark. So I can pronounce the first one, Mark, because I've got the same name, although it ends with a K, so I can do that. I'm just so hopeless with these names, so I do apologise. And I'd like to make it clear that I voted to remain in the EU as well. I'm not one of these people that voted to leave the EU just because I can't pronounce anyone's name. So there we go. Now Mark's getting into some composing projects. So we can expect some atmosphere and some, something a little bit. We can basically not expect a pop song. So let's have a little listen to Amazon, which is the first track that Mark sent through. So it's very filmic already, which is great. So what have I done to this? Well, let's have a listen to the mastered version. So not a lot. I've again a few EQ tweaks here and there, just at a few specific frequencies, just to kind of really bring the life out and just to polish it, basically, to just give it that sort of mojo that you get from a really good EQ used in the right kind of areas. Again, I did a little bit of widening with the mid side on this, because if it's going to be used for TV or film, it's probably going to be in a surround sound environment. So I've kind of pushed the edges of the stereo field out a little bit further. But great work. It's really, you know, for the genre you're going for, it's pretty much perfect. You've nailed it. Let's just go to a little bit where we kind of ramp up a little. Great, nice and dramatic, brilliant work, really good work. Well done, Mark. Again, apologies for pronouncing your name wrong. Michael Boys, that's more like it. Sensible names now. Now, Michael sent me an entire album, which is fine. Send me an entire album if you want. And it's a pretty good album as well. I've actually spent 5 or 6 hours today working on Michael's album, because that's what I do. I'm a mastering engineer. If it takes 10 minutes, it takes 10 minutes. If it takes 6 hours, it takes 6 hours. If it takes 2 days, it takes 2 days. I'm not going to think, oh, let's rush this because it's free. I'm doing you a proper job. So I've spent a good 5 or 6 hours on this today. Mastering an album is a different approach to mastering individual tracks, because you have to level each track and get the whole thing sounding as a homogeneous, harmonious thing. So there might be, you know, some EQ you need to do on different songs in the album to get them to fit together as a whole. So it's a bit more challenging and a bit more involved than just doing one track, because you have to reference the tracks against each other, etc, etc, etc. People often ask me when they're sending tracks through, should I send them through one at a time, or should I send you the whole album in one go? Generally, send me the whole album in one go. You can send them through one at a time, but if I know it's the finished result is going to be an album, I'm just going to wait until the end, until we've got them all, because they all need to be balanced against each other. So Michael did that. He sent them all through in one go, and it's pretty good. Let's have a listen to this one. This is called Groove Is in the Name. Right, so just from those few bars, this is just great. This is someone who's got an ear for it, who's got an ear for the mix, who's got an ear for it's not just the mix, it's the production. You can take the worst production ever, the most awful recorded example of music played by idiots, and send it to the best mix engineer in the world, and it doesn't matter. It's just going to sound rubbish. It's about the whole thing, and Michael's nailed it here, because I mean the detail in the percussion there, and the use of reverbs, different reverbs. So that little synth is pushed back. The congas, bongos, congas, conga bongos, bonga congos. They're in your face. They're like right at the front, which is great. So many people turn percussion right down and put loads of reverb on it to push it right to the back. And a lot of the times it's like, well, there's no point in having it there because you can't hear it once the chorus comes in. But this is just a great example of someone who's found a place for everything in the mix. And it's the right place as well. This is really great work, Michael. Good work. So what do I do with the mastering? Let's have a listen.
It can chase you down and render you infected all the time, moving with the beat. Shape-shifting sonically, infectious to
go back again. Oops, wrong song. There we go. See, where's James when you need him, eh? So brilliant, just great stuff. Let's just have a quick listen to one of your other songs as well, because there's a couple of songs on the album, one called Sunset and one called Sunset Sax. On Sunset we've got a beautiful vocal in it, which sounds very similar to the vocal on Groove Is in the Name. But there's another version of the song which has got saxophone instead of vocal, and that's great. You know, what a brilliant idea. That is just really imaginative and just gives you kind of two versions of the same song. I'm not sure whether they'd be destined both to go on the album, but why not? I think that's a really good idea, and I really enjoyed listening to both the versions, and it's amazing how they make you feel different depending on whether you're listening to the song with the lead vocal in or the song with the sax in. So that's really great. Really impressed with that. Just the overall experience of listening to your music is, yeah, nailed it. And I've done very little, so again, a tiny little bit of EQ just to balance various tracks together to give it that polish. I've put it through some sort of character compressors, not to compress it because it doesn't need compressing, and it's got loads of dynamics in it, and I want to keep all those dynamics, but just to give it a little bit of colour, so a little bit of that Transformer mojo, the little bit of bloom, the little bit of, like a little spring flower coming out, and it's not quite there, it's just about to bloom, and then you put it through the character compressor and that's it. Your petals are starting to come out and it's fresh, and it's what am I talking about? So let's listen to Sunset Sax. So this is the raw mix. And the mastered version. Now this reminds me of a little bit of a Candy Dulfer record. It's got that Candy Dulfer vibe. I love a bit of Candy Dulfer. A lot of sax players I know slag me off for loving a bit of Candy Dulfer, but if you're a sax player who hates Candy Dulfer, it's only because she's more successful than you are. I love a bit of Candy, I think she's great. And this reminds me of one of the, on a Candy Dulfer album, you get raging funk one end and then you get some kind of mellow groove the other end. And this is like the mellow groove kind of thing. I really like this track. Again, let's just A-B quickly. So original mix. And the mastered version. Wow, so it's really, hopefully it's really come to life. Which is not about what I've done, that's about what you've done in the mix. You've just done a great mix, which is and you've left me loads of headroom, and you've just enabled me to just bring the life out of it, to use the monitors to their best, to say, yeah, this is great, but you just take it up to that next level, and again, that's again is what mastering's about. So brilliant job, Michael. Really impressed. I'd love to hear some more stuff from you. You've done some great work. Well done. Next up, Nick Hamilton, another pronounceable name. Thank you, Nick, for being born with that name. This is called A Stitch in Time. Let's hear the raw mix first. Now this was a case where we had an issue. An issue was that one of the things I always do when I'm mastering someone's music is that I check it in mono. There's a whole stage of steps I go through, put your tongue in, to check stuff. And one of them is listening to it in mono. And when I listen to it in mono, the organ, the keyboards disappeared, just completely disappeared. So that tells me instantly that there's a phase problem with the organ. So I let Nick know, and Nick fixed it and sent me back the other mix, and there we are. This is the raw mix. This is the mix that he sent through second time round.
Oh, we could discuss
And the mastered version. So I love it. It's got a great vibe. It's got a very kind of 90s, but it's very sort of, you know, Brit poppy, a bit pulp, a bit kind of, it's, you know, it's just got that great kind of vibe to it. Great band. The mix is quite lo-fi. It's quite, and that's great. I think it perfectly suits the tune. You could mix this so as it's huge and open and you know, massive drums. The drums almost sound like they're coming through a phone. They're quite sort of constrained in terms of the frequency that they occupy, the frequency range that they occupy, and that's great. I think it really suits the song, it really suits the genre, and it's nice to hear it like that. It gives you an identifiable sound as well, so really impressed with the mix on this. You've done a great job. Nice one, Nick. Good work. Okay, another Nick now. Told you we were in alphabetical order. Nicholas, Ngai. That's how it's spelt. Not sure how it's pronounced. Apologies, Nicholas. Now, Nicholas is from Malaysia and is a student in Melbourne in Australia. And he's currently back in Malaysia at the moment, again in quarantine, like most of us. And he's 19 years old, 19 or 20 years old, so young guy, so just getting into music production and stuff like that, and this is his first track, so let's play a bit of Nicholas. This is Moonlight. Great vocals.
Say the only words I speak, but don't.
So there's two, if I could offer any constructive criticism on this, Nicholas, there's two things I'd say. One is you haven't, there's not a lot of headroom for me to work, so it's very, very compressed, just the raw mix, and that's not left me an awful lot of room to work. And you can see, I mean, you can see the audio file flatlining in a few places just on the mix, so a little bit less compression. If you've put it through a limiter or anything like that, don't take that off and just bring everything down so as it's not peaking above 0. Just a little bit of compression. That's the first thing I'd say about the mix. Other than that, it's great. I mean, your vocals sound great. The production's great. It, you know, it kicks in here. You've had a nice intro, and now we're into the groove. Let's flip over to the mastered version. And back again. And back to the mastered version. So the vocal, you can the vocals almost, the compressor is almost, it's like the vocals kind of pulling down the instrumentation. It's just a little bit too, but I mean, it kind of suits the genre, so that's not necessarily a bad thing, and that might be the sound you're going for, and if that's the sound you're going for, then you've completely nailed it. But to my ears, it's just a little bit too compressed. I really want a bit of room. You know, when the drums kick in, I want it to go bang and just really have those drums kick in. But other than that, so that's just a mix, that's just whatever's on your master bus, whatever's on your output bus. Just back it off a little bit, turn it down a little bit, and the rest of it, I mean, in terms of production and everything, great. Just for someone your age, this is really great work, really good. So well done, mate. So there we go, that's Nicholas. Well done, Nick. Please send me some more stuff. I'd probably like to hear that. Actually, if you're in a situation in isolation where you can work on your mix, if you can take a little bit of that whatever you've got on the output, just take a little bit of that off and send it over to me again, and we'll have another go and we'll see what we can do there. Okay, Paul Grull. Now, pronounced your name wrong. I'll have pronounced your name wrong. I apologise, Paul. I can get the first bit right. I'm just hopeless at names, really hopeless. This is called Into the K-Hole. Loving the intro. I'm going to turn this up a bit. Brilliant. Let's flip over to the mastered version. I haven't got anything else to say. Fucking brilliant. I've got nothing else to say on that at all. All I've done is turned it up a bit, and that's it. Fucking brilliant. Absolutely fucking brilliant. I love it. Great work. Sorry I can't give you any more feedback than that, but just wow. Brilliant. Really, really brilliant. Nice work. I love the track. I absolutely love the track. It's really cool. I would like to, I think what you guys and girls should do is you should leave comments below this video on where the general public can actually download your tracks from. If you could put the whole mastered track available, on SoundCloud or something like that, please leave some links in the comments below, and we'll kind of collate them all and edit the description and put everyone's mixes in the description, and then people can hear your whole song, because there's just some really, really, really good stuff in here. And Paul, you have nailed that completely. I love it. No more to say. My only feedback, the only thing I can say to you is fucking brilliant. Well done. Great work. Talking of fucking brilliant, Tim Ellifritz sent me a track called Zona. Let's have a listen to that. Switch to the mastered version. I love my job. I love my job. I just love my job. Tim, this is, I know we've had a conversation, this is incredible. This is just incredible. It's making me go a bit teary. It's that good. It's great to get an instrumental track through that's got some really incredible musicianship on it, that's not kind of all produced electronically and stuff like that. This is musicians, some fabulous guitar playing. The mix is, let's just A/B between so this is the mastered track, this is the original mix. Let's have a few seconds of mastered and a few seconds of original mix. So this is mastered. And original mix. just great. Great, this is such a tune. So again, this is a case where Tim sent the track through, I listened to it, I was so blown away by the mix, so I thought I don't need to do anything to this, I just need to turn it up. I turned it up on the monitor controller to check, that was all I needed to do, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I've done a tiny little EQ tweak just here and there, just to again bring the life out and bring all the kind of mojo out, but this is just stunning, absolutely stunning. And I know you're working on an album, Tim, so that's great. I can't wait to hear the rest of it. Please send it through when you've done it, because this is just, you know, this is brilliant. This is pro stuff. Gobsmacked. It's just brilliant. Really great. Really great stuff. Amazing. When I listen to that in here on these monitors, it comes, you know, it comes right out. The speakers, the drums are just incredible. Your guitar sounds amazing. The acoustic, the way the acoustic fits in with the electrics, and it's just, in terms of composition and performance and production and mixing and everything, it's just absolutely fantastic. Really great work. I can't wait to hear more stuff from you, Tim. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So that's it for this video. Apologies if you've sent me stuff and it's not been in the video. I've got another couple of videos to do like this, unless you've all been completely bored. So I'll look at the YouTube stats, and if people only watch the first 30 seconds of the video, then I won't do another one. But yeah, but keep them coming. Just so watch the if you haven't sent us your stuff, or this is the first video of ours that you've seen and thought, well, this bloke's doing free mastering, what's that all about? Yes, I'm doing free mastering while we're in lockdown. I've got some commercial work coming through, so I have to kind of fit it in around that, but I'm a lot quieter obviously at the moment than I would normally be, with people coming in and out and stuff like that. No one's coming in and out for obvious reasons at the moment, so I've got some time on my hands, so I thought, why not use that time to master some of your music for free, to kind of encourage you to, you know, do stuff and produce stuff and be a bit creative. And it's good for the old mental health and all that as well. It's been great for my mental health, to be honest. The stuff you've sent through has been absolutely fantastic. So a huge thank you to everyone who's sent this through. I'm in the studio on my own today, and I feel about as far away from lonely as it's possible to get because of what you guys and girls are sending me. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant, blown away. Keep it coming. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. If you have subscribed already, subscribe again. You can't do that, can you? Open another account and subscribe again. Give us a like on Facebook. Do all those lovely things. The link to the free mastering video, how to do it, if you'd like to do it, you'd like to take part, will be coming up probably around about now at the end of this video on your screen. So click on that and have a watch. Thank you very, very, very much for taking part. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments. Guys and girls, please leave links to your tunes in the comments or email them to me, and we can collate everything so as people can hear all of your finished stuff, because it's great, really great. Thanks for taking part. Thanks for watching, and we'll speak to you very soon. Take care. Bye bye.